Okay, well, I think we can start already. For today, good evening, first of all. And today we're going to do a lot of inversions. So, as far as props go, you might want to have your block or blocks even. And then maybe a wall. Maybe if you can put your mat close to a wall, if you're not really comfortable in inversions, we're gonna see a way to get into shoulder stand with the help of the wall. If you're not really familiar with shoulder stand yet, but you want to give it a try. Or for your headstands as well, maybe you want to be against a wall to come up. Otherwise, just stay in the middle of the room and that's fine. And we're going to start seating with the legs crossed and the arms relaxed, palms on your knees, and just letting the muscles of the face soften, the shoulders soften. Maybe sitting on something if you feel like you're rounding the back when you're sitting like this, just to elevate the hips a little bit and be able to stand upright with a long spine and the rib cage free. And just take a few long deep breaths to arrive, to let your day or your week go behind you. Allowing your awareness to settle, to rest on your breath, and start to really be aware of whatever's going on in your body. So really feeling your body or any tension, anything that your body has to tell you right now. Is it tired? Is it energized? Is it sore? Is it open? Now taking the time to really observe your breath. Really getting to this stage where you really think, I am aware of my breath. I am aware of the movements, of the shoulders, of the collarbones, of the rib cage, of the abdomen, of the upper back. I'm aware of the feeling of the breath inside the nose, down the throat. And now finding your Ujjayi breath. So if you're not familiar with Ujjayi breath, it's simply breathing deep and finding a slight constriction at the back of the throat so that the breath, you can hear the breath. It makes this lovely ocean sound when you inhale and when you exhale. And you're sending the breath all the way down the rib cage. One more breath here. And on your next inhale, keeping your Ujjayi breath if you can, raise the hands over the head and stretch up. And exhale, bring the hands in front of the heart, bowing the head towards the hands and opening the eyes. Namaste. Welcome, welcome, hello. Okay, let's bring our hands onto our knees and start moving our neck. So we're going to stand on our head a little bit today, so we want to really warm up the neck. So bring the chin down and then rolling the chin all the way to the right. Rolling the chin all the way down and to the left. And continuing with half circles or doing some full circles with your head. Taking your time, really moving with intention. And making sure that you're doing circles in both directions. One more circle each direction. And the last one. Very good. Let's roll our shoulders now. So chin down, inhale, shoulders forward and up. And exhale, shoulders back and down. And again, forward and up on your inhale and exhale, back and down. And the last one, forward and up, big circle, exhale, back and down. All right. Let's inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, bend the elbows and grab the opposite elbows here. So as we inhale, we lift the chest up, but we don't really push the chest forward here. We want to bring the elbows back more than we push the chest forward. So opening the shoulders and the back of the arms, and also finding a side stretch here. So you can wiggle a little bit, just warming up the tissues, getting some movement in there. You can lean a little bit more to one side and come back up and lean a little bit more to the other side. So we're just moving very organically, very naturally, however it feels good for you today. Don't push too hard. And then we're going to move forward and back. So coming back to center, inhale, lift the chest, gaze up, push the elbows back a little bit more. And exhale, round the spine and bring the elbows closer to the floor. Inhale, lifting the elbows up and back, opening the chest. And exhale, rounding the spine and bring the elbows down. So they're probably not going to go all the way down to the floor. If they do, it's likely that your hips are going to lift. So let's try not to do that. Keep the hips down. Good. And let's do the last one, forward. And then coming back up. And we'll release the arms and twist to the right. So bring the right hand behind you, left hand on your right knee. Lifting the chest on your inhale. And exhale, gazing over the right shoulder. And then inhale, bring the hands back up. And exhale, twisting to the left. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, look over the left shoulder. Very good. Inhale, let's come back to center and come to the hands and knees. So you can warm up the wrist a little bit if you want to before actually. Just doing some rolls. Making sure that everything's fine, just working through all the clicks and the cracks. So we're gonna have a bit of a dynamic flow today with some inversions woven in. And we'll take a little bit some time with the headstand as well and shoulder stand. I hope we have the time to do everything. We'll see. So As always, do what you can, what you feel comfortable doing. There's going to be some options for that are more advanced in case you're already familiar with headstand, but you know, take it at your own pace, listen to your body, honor how you're feeling today. Let's bring the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and we'll start with some cat-cows. So let's tuck the toes with this version. And on your next inhale, dropping the belly, pressing the chest forward and the shoulders back, lift the hips. And exhale, push the hands down, round the spine. Inhale, dropping the belly, looking up. And exhale, we're coming to a downward dog just for one breath. Lift the hips, push the hands, and lift the hips back. Inhale, dropping the belly, dropping the knees all the way down, coming back to a cow pose. And exhale to a cat pose, round the back. Inhale again, dropping the belly, chest forward. And exhale, downward facing dog. We lift the knees, send the hips up and back and stretch the spine. Again, dropping the knees on your inhale and the belly, gazing up. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, curve. And exhale, a down dog. Inhale, knees down. Drop the belly. Exhale, really pull the belly in and push the hands down. Inhale, curving. And exhale, this time we stay in our down dog. You can walk your dog, move your head, move your hips. Pressing the fingertips down, sending the chest closer to the thighs. Alright, and we're coming to Malasana. So walking the hands back towards the feet and turning the toes out, maybe separating the feet a little bit more if you need, and then dropping the hips as much as feels comfortable. Maybe they go all the way down, maybe not. Maybe you need to keep the hands down, maybe you need to sit on a break. Do what you need. Press, if you can balance here, you can press the hands together and bring the elbows inside of the thighs, lift the chest and lengthen the spine, dropping the tailbone down towards the mat and maybe moving from side to side, from one foot to the other. If you can balance here, or if you've got your hands on the floor for support, just working into the ankle joints, into the hip joints. One more breath. And then we place the hands back down, walk back to your downward facing dog. Taking one big inhale here. And one long exhale. Opening the shoulders here. Let's drop the knees down. We're coming to a puppy pose with the block. We're going to place the elbows. So if you don't have the block, you can place the elbows straight on the mat, or even better on a chair, or anything that you can have a little bit of height from. So if you've got your one or two blocks, you'll place your elbows on there, hands pressing together, knees under the hips, and trying to feed your head through the upper arms. Hands can then come towards your between your shoulder blades, sorry. And then you're dropping the chest down towards the mat. If you have the elbows on the floor here because you don't have a block, maybe you prefer to do the version, and if you don't feel much in the shoulders, you might prefer to do the versions with the hands forward and the arms straight and the forehead down, so that you can have a little bit more range of motion. It's not going to target exactly the same muscles, but you still get more benefits than if you're not getting anything at all. So we'll take another 3 long breaths here, really dropping the chest closer to the floor. Softening with every exhale. And very carefully coming out in reverse. Bring the hands away from your upper back. Push into the elbows and bring yourself all the way back up. Moving the blocks to the side and finding your way into your downward facing dog. If at any point during this sequence, by the way, during this whole class, you need to take a break, just take a child's pose, knees down, arms stretching forward and forehead down. I don't want to scare you, but it's going to get a little bit more dynamic. So on your next inhale, gazing forwards, bend the knees and step to the top of your mat. Lift the chest up on your inhale. And exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, press the feet down. Bring your hands all the way up and gaze towards the thumbs. Exhale, let's bring the hands to heart. Good. Let's start flowing in our sun salutations. So finding Tadasana first and bring your awareness into the feet. Just noticing how the feet feels on your mat. How does it feel to press the four corners, to lift the toes, to spread the toes and to place the toes back down. The awareness now goes up the legs, engaging there, engaging the abs, the pelvic floor, lifting the chest and relaxing the shoulders down. Take another inhale here. And an exhale. On your next inhale, lift the hands up towards the ceiling. And the exhale, bend the knees and fold over the legs. Inhale, a half lift of the chest. Place your palms on your shins or on the floor. Keep the spine long. On the exhale, let's come to a plank pose. Left foot back, right foot back. Pull the belly in, press into the hands. Inhale, engage the legs. Exhale, chaturanga. You can keep the knees down or up, hips forward and lower down. Inhale to press the chest forward and up. Exhale to your downward facing dog. For down dog today, we can stay in our down dog for about 3 to 5 breaths, or come to a dolphin by bringing one forearm down, the other forearm down, and pressing the chest towards the legs. Let the head drop, and let's take 2 more breaths here. One more breath. On the next inhale, gaze forwards, come back to your downward dog, and exhale here. Inhale, gaze forward, bend the knees and step, walk or hop to the top of the mat and lift the chest. And exhale, fold. Inhale, press into the feet, arms up. Exhale, we're going again, we're folding over the legs. Inhale to lift up halfway. And exhale to your plank pose. Inhale here, press the hands down, puff up the upper back. Exhale, chaturanga, coming forward and lowering. Inhale, chest forward and up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, you can stay in your down dog or take a child's pose or take a dolphin. Good, pressing the forearms down. Send the chest closer to the thighs. Lift the hips. Maybe walk your feet closer to the face. Engage the legs. The quads are really active here. One more breath. Inhale, gaze forwards, come back to your downward dog. And exhale. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees and step, walk or hop to the top of the mat, lift the chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into the feet, arms up. Exhale, last one, we fold over the legs. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, plank pose, step back. Extra breath here. Inhale, long breath. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, chest forward and up. Exhale, down dog. Good. Bring the forearms down if you want. Stay in your down dog. Or take a break in child's pose. One more breath. Inhale, look up. Come back to downward dog. This time we walk the hands back to the feet and find Padangusthasana. So our feet are hip distance apart. We bend the knees as much as we need to grab the toes or the ankles. Once you've got whatever you've got, keep it there and start straightening the legs. Keep the head low, hanging down, lifting the hips up. And yeah, see how much you can straighten the legs. Keep everything really engaged, pull the belly in, and the shoulders are relaxed, the head is relaxed. Maybe the legs straighten completely, maybe they don't, it doesn't matter. Just want to find a little bit of stretch to the back of the legs. You might feel it also in the lower back, but we're mainly focusing on the legs. One more breath. So I'm in a swaying mood today, so I'm swaying a lot in my forward fold. You don't have to do it, but if it feels good, you can. And then coming back to center, looking up, inhale, and exhale, bring your hands forward and back to your downward facing dog. One breath here. And exhale. On the next inhale, slowly lift the right leg up. Exhale, let's bring the right foot forward between the hands and the left heel down to your warrior one. Coming up. Okay, let's bend the front knee, straighten the back leg, push into the outside edge of your left foot, and let's bring the hands up. Lifting the chest. Good. We'll interlace the hands behind the lower back here. On the inhale, we lift the chest up. Exhale, humble warrior. We lean forward either over the right leg or inside. If you can go inside, let's drop the crown of the head down and the hands away from the lower back to go into your full humble warrior. Keep pushing the left foot back and down. Both legs are super strong here. Let's take one more breath. On your next inhale, push into the legs to bring yourself all the way up. You can straighten the legs and release the hands. And we'll turn to face the long edge of the mat. So, we'll turn to face the long edge of the mat, coming to wide-legged forward fold. You can use your blocks under the hands here if you need them to reach the floor. Inhale, turn the toes in, engage the legs, lift the spine, lift the chest, and exhale, we fold down. So if you don't need the blocks, you can have your hands under the shoulders, or maybe even walk them so that they're in line with the feet. From here, just stay, and if and only if your head is really close to the floor, you can start to attempt a tripod headstand. So dropping the crown of the head down, pushing the hands into the floor, and starting to bring the weight into the toes, into the toes, into the toes until the feet lift. And you're just balancing here. Taking one more breath wherever you are. And then slowly coming back down, lifting up halfway. And we're going to bend the left leg, turning the toes out, coming to your half squat. So coming to your Skandasana, as low as you can. If you're really high here, that's fine. You can still have the hands in front of the chest as well. Or you can come all the way down. If you can drop the hips down, you lift the right toes up. And then we'll sit down. Just coming all the way down, sitting, and bring the left leg in front of your chest, knee up. We'll just twist here. So, coming to a Marichyasana C with the left hand back. Inhale, lift the chest and hug the left knee in. Exhale, look over the left shoulder. And just breathe. Stay and relax here. Good. On the next inhale, coming forward again. And we'll cross the ankles and make our way into our downward facing dog. From down dog, on your next inhale, lift the right leg up. And exhale, bend the right knee, open the hip. Option 1, we stay here. Option 2, we're gonna flip the dog so we become lighter on the right hand and start to drop the right foot back behind the left leg all the way back until the right hand lifts, comes towards the ceiling. We're lifting the hips up as well. Maybe the right hand goes overhead, finding a little back bend here. Stay on the ball of the right foot and left leg is straight. Push the hips up. One more breath. And exhale, slowly, slowly. We're coming back to a downward facing dog. Right hand down, right foot down next to the left. Let's drop the knees down, come to a child's pose just to connect with our breath again for about 3 breaths. Relaxing there. And when you are ready, making our way back onto our down dog. And let's go for the second side. So pushing into the hands, inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, the left foot comes between your hands, right heel down, and come up into your warrior 1. Both hips facing forward, right leg strong, left leg bent, arms up. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lift the chest. Exhale, interlacing the hands behind the lower back. Inhale, lifting the chest up again, straightening the arms. Exhale, humble warrior, coming over the left leg or inside. Hands away from the lower back, breathing in and breathing out. Strong legs, pushing the feet down, inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, pushing into the feet. Woo! Coming all the way back up. Went a little bit fast here. Alright, let's turn to face the long edge of your mat. Feet hip, no, more than hip distance apart, about a leg distance apart. So slightly pointing in. Using your blocks if you need to. Inhale, lift the chest, engage the legs, engage the belly. And exhale, hinging from the hips, going all the way down. Placing your hands either on the blocks or on the floor under the shoulders or all the way back between the feet.
once again here, if you want to come into a tripod headstand or trying it, you can just drop the forehead down. But it's going to be very, not the forehead, the top of the head. It's going to be really hard if you're not very close to the floor. So if you're still miles away from the floor, just stay in your forward fold. Otherwise, if you're down, you want to be able to see the fingers, hug the elbows in, and start to move your weight into the hands and the head, and the feet will lift. And when you're ready, bringing your feet back down, coming back to your forward fold. Very carefully bringing your way up. So bring the hands under the shoulders again, lift the chest, and then bend the right leg and bring your hips down into your Skandasana. So maybe your right heel is lifted, that's fine. We just want to open the hips a little bit, find a stretch into the inner thigh of the left leg. We're not staying here too long, use some support if you need to. And then we'll drop the hips down and come to sit on your mat with your right knee towards the chest this time. And we'll twist. Right hand back, left hand around the right leg. I'm not 100% sure we're on the right leg. We didn't do twice the same leg. If you know better than me, if you know that I've done twice the right leg, then you can change, of course. It's the problem when I'm moving around on my mat. Let's come forward on your inhale, cross the ankles, and come back to your downward dog. Very good. So this time, inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, open the hip. Stacking the left hip on top of the right and bending the left knee. Again, you can stay here or dropping into wild thing or flipping the dog. So you're starting to become light on the left hand and drop the left foot behind the right leg. Lifting the left hand towards the ceiling. Straighten the right leg. Keep the bend in the left knee. Staying on the ball of the foot, and lift the hips, lift the chest, maybe even reach back with your left hand, follow the gaze, follow your hand with your gaze, push into the right hand, and then flipping back, bring your left hand down, pivot on your right foot, and find your downward dog. Dropping the knees down, finding child's pose again. And you can bring your arms alongside the legs, forehead down. Really relaxing the shoulders, letting everything soften, recovering, and following your breath. Let's take 2 more breaths. Last one. Good. So we're going to start working on our headstand. So if you're not so sure of yourself and you want to try lifting up, you might want to come closer to the wall.
If you know you won't be lifting up, or if you don't feel comfortable, or if you feel comfortable in the middle of the room, just stay where you are. We're going to do a bit of prep before, just to know if we have the strength to lift up, to actually lift up, in the shoulders anyway. So we'll go today for a bound headstand with the fingers interlaced at the back of the head. If you prefer to practice tripod again, or teddy bear like we do sometimes, you're welcome to do that. I can't see you anyway, so you do what you want. But I'm just going to cue for a bound headstand today. So before we do that, we want to make sure that our elbows are appropriate distance away from each other. So we just hold the opposite elbows there. We're sure that we have the elbows just under the shoulders, and we don't want them to get any wider. Often when I see people come into a headstand, the elbows start to splay out, and your base becomes very unstable, very unstable. So you want the elbows to be just under the shoulders at all times, or a little bit wider, but really trying to keep them in place and down. When your elbows are there, we interlace the fingers, and some people prefer to keep the little fingers out, otherwise they feel crushed by the head. I prefer to keep them in, but you choose. You can try and see what works for you. And then we place the crown of the head down into the hands. And to start with, we'll just have the knees under the hips, and we push the elbows down, and we inhale, lift and look forward. Lift the head and look forward, and exhale, place the head back down. And keep the shoulders away, keep doing that, and keep the shoulders away from the ears. So inhale, looking forward and up, lifting the head, and exhale, placing the head back down. Do that 3 more times on your own time. Really pushing the elbows down the whole time. Pull the belly in as well, engage the abs, and push and send the shoulders away from the ears. So your shoulders should already be working here. You might be feeling a little bit of warmth in the shoulder already. And when you've done that about 5 times, if you feel a little bit of warmth and you feel like, okay, this is enough for me, you can keep doing this. If you want to take it a little bit further, you'll do the same thing, but with the knees up. So in a bit of a dolphin position, we inhale here, lifting the hips and lifting the knees off the floor. And on the exhale, we place the head down. Inhale, push into the elbows and look forward. Exhale, head come back down. Inhale, up and looking forward. And again, doing that about 5 times. A little bit more if you can. And if you need to take a break at any point, just drop the knees and find child's pose again. Let's do one more. And then drop the knees down and sit back. So this is quite a strengthening exercise for the shoulders. You might be feeling it. I hope you do. So take some time to rest before we're going to try to lift into our headstand. So if this felt really, really tough, then coming to a headstand is going to feel even tougher, basically. But it's a good preparation. It's a good exercise. It's a good drill to do if you're aiming for headstand at some point. And it gives you also the kind of activation in the shoulders that you want to feel at all time when you're in your headstand. So pushing the elbows down and sending the shoulders away from the ears, and then of course the head will stay down, so it will feel a little bit less tiring for the shoulders, but you still want this engagement. All right, let's try to come up. So again, same foundation, elbows shoulder distance apart, fingers interlaced, forehead down, nestled into your fingers. Try to find the sweet spot. So you don't want to be on the forehead, you want to be too far back. You really want to be just in the middle, in the top of the head. So elbows stay in place, we push them down.
Maybe if you wait, yeah, don't forget to be close to the wall if you want to. So if you feel comfortable here, you might just stay with the knees lifted, the legs straight into your downward dog shape, pushing the elbows down, and then maybe you want to try to walk the feet towards the face. Trying to bring the hips above the shoulders as much as you can so that you have less of a momentum to give. And maybe you stay here, maybe you drop down onto your knees and rest, or maybe you lift one leg up. And then the right leg goes down, and you lift the left leg up. And you're reaching with the foot when you do that. So lifting one leg up, you're reaching the toes up towards the ceiling, pushing the elbows down, and at some point the left leg is gonna be light. Trying to stack the hips over the shoulders and to breathe. The legs are really strong here. My left leg not so much. Well, I'm still engaging the left leg, but especially the right one. And when you're tired, just bring your knees back down and rest for a moment. And we're gonna give it another try. We've got a little bit of time here today, so we can give it another try. But make sure that you rest between tries. Because if you're anything like me, you get very frustrated. You try and try and try, and you fail and fail and fail. And the more you try and the more you fail, the more discouraged you get. And when you get tired, you lose your focus, you lose your calm, and you don't really manage to do anything. So let's take another big inhale here. And exhale through the mouth, making sure your breath is calm and settled before you try again. Alright, let's do another try. Whichever version you feel comfortable with. So it might just be on your knees and just lifting the head and putting it back down. You might have the knees lifting up and doing the same exercise to drill. Or trying the full headstand. Placing your head down with the elbows closer together, pushing down, tucking the toes, lift the knees up. And if you're really comfortable with your headstand, you can then play with different shape for the legs. Or another style of entry as well I can mention is bringing both knees into the chest and lifting both feet at the same time. So you want to start to roll back. You're going to feel like you're rolling back. But if you're pushing the elbows down, then you won't do a flip. But you bring one foot in and then the other foot in. That's another way to get into it. Lifting the hips and maybe unfolding the legs really nice and slow with control. And when you're ready to come down, taking your time and relax down, or give it another try, or rest in child's pose. Finding your breath. No judgment, not telling yourself that you should be able to do more. So before we come to our shoulder stand, we're going to do a little bit of stretch for the shoulders after all this strengthening. So if it's comfortable to sit on your heels, you can stay on your heels, or you can come to a cross-legged position. I'm actually going to do that. So any comfortable seating position here. And on the next inhale, we roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, and interlace the fingers behind the lower back. So just opening the chest, stretching the front of the shoulders, bring the hands away from the lower back.
And then we'll come to eagle arms. So releasing the hands, bring the right arm on top of the left, either holding the opposite elbows and stretching the muscles between the shoulder blades, the rhomboid. So trying to bring the scapula, the shoulder blades, there you go, away from each other. So if I bring the shoulders forward and the elbows forward, if you can come into your full eagle with the back of the hands together, or wrapping the hands together, you can also do that. Wherever you are, you bring the elbows away from the face, hands away from the face, and lifting the elbows up. And then we release and come back to hands behind the back, maybe switching the interlace of the hands, and then send the chest forward, shoulders back, open here. Should feel really good. And then again, doing the left arm over the right this time. Any version of eagle that you want to practice today. Either holding the shoulders or wrapping the forearms and maybe the hands together. And again, finding this lovely stretch to the upper back. And you can sway, you can move. Really exploring the movement and doing what feels good. And then let's release. Good. Alright. So if you've got the wall, let's come close to the wall, otherwise we'll do without. I'm going to move my mat a little bit closer. Oops. So we're going to bring your hands, or legs, sorry, up the wall. Again, if you don't have the wall, you can just do regular Viparitakani or shoulder stand if you can practice shoulder stand. So shoulder stand is the one with the knees towards the forehead, hands to the lower back, and legs up. Or you can have a block under the hips and lift the legs up, maybe use a belt around the feet. I'm going to show a way to go to shoulder stand by using the wall. If you're not quite comfortable just lifting the hips up and the legs overhead. So you try to bring your hips really close to the wall here. And you can use the feet against the wall as a support to lift the hips. So you're placing the feet against the wall. It can be against a piece of furniture, obviously. And you start lifting the hips up. So kind of coming like in a bridge. You're pushing the feet against the wall, lifting the hips up, and then rolling them back down. You can do that a few times, and every time you try to lift to peel the ribs and the spine a little bit more. And it's kind of like a half shoulder stand. And you can stay there, and maybe if your hips are high enough, you can place your hands under the lower back and stay here, and you still have the support of the wall. And you can try to feed the elbows under the body closer together, that you have more support. And then maybe you lift one leg here and then the other. You can do one at a time, or maybe both. And if you've worked enough, you can simply place a block under the hips, any height, lowest height, let's say, and then just rest the legs onto the wall and breathe. So stay here for another 5 breaths. Starting to relax the breath.
allowing yourself to soften and to let go of all the efforts of the class. So we'll bring our feet back down now and make our way back onto the mat, a little bit more back, so that we can come into a fish pose. So place your feet back onto the mat and you don't have the legs against the wall anymore. Let's lift the hips up, place the hands under the buttocks with the fingers spread wide and the thumbs touching. Relax the buttocks down, stretch the legs, zip the legs together, point the toes and press into the forearms, lifting the chest up towards the ceiling. If this is uncomfortable, if it's really hard, you can release the hands and just place the elbows under the shoulders, lift the chest up. We just want to open the chest a little bit more here. One more breath. And then relax back down. Let's bend the knees again and place the block or a cushion under the hips if you have one. Let's bring your right knee into the chest and stretch the left leg away from you. So tilting the pelvis back here so that the left leg is floating off the mat. The foot is not on the mat. The pelvis is tilting back and you're reaching the left foot forward. Getting a nice stretch to your psoas, your hip flexor. It's probably a gentle stretch, but it's a very deep muscle, so it's not an easy one to stretch, or to feel something strong in it anyway. And then stretch the other side. Stretching the left leg and bring the left knee to the chest. Reaching the toes forward. Finding a lot of length in the front of the right leg. And let's release. Both feet down, lift the hips, move the block away and rest your hips down. Let's come to our final twist. You're free to choose whichever version of the twist you want to practice today. I'm gonna go with, let's all lift the hips up and move the hips to the left. And I'm gonna go with the right leg straight and the left knee across. Both shoulders stay down. Oh, I felt a big pop in my back. I hope you did too. I wish you a big pop in your back. Stretch the left arm away from you. And just relax. Stay and breathe and soften. Enjoy this lovely stretch to the core. And let's change side. Bring your hips back to center and moving them all the way to the right. Doing the same version you did on the other side. Oof. Both shoulders down. And you can start to practice the falling out breath, where you inhale through the nose and exhale, just letting the exhale come out of the mouth as if it's falling out of your mouth. No effort. Really nice long breath. Come back to center on your inhale, both feet down. Move your hips to the center of the mat. The knees to the chest, wrap your arms around the legs, lift the head, give yourself a big hug, squeezing in really tight. Big inhale here. And exhale, Shavasana. Good. Let's stretch the legs, feet to the corners of the mat. Arms alongside the body and the palms face up. If you prefer to bend the knees, of course, that's fine. If your lower back is uncomfortable, keep your knees bent, feet down and knees falling to the middle so that they can support each other. If you have some glasses, maybe move them to the side. If you have an eye bag, you can place the eye bag on your eyes. So I've discovered this experience lately and it's changed my life, so I recommend you get an eye bag. Fingers curl lightly, and now the body softens and relaxes. The breath slows down. Enjoy this rest. Bringing your attention back to your breath now, or if you want to stay and rest longer, stay. If you're ready to come out, start bringing your awareness deep into your rib cage and taking the longer and deeper inhales. exhale, start to bring some movement back into the fingers and toes. Roll the wrists and the ankles. And sway the head from side to side. Let's bring the legs together and the arms overhead and give yourself a full body stretch. And exhale. Let it go. Let's bring the knees back into the chest. And roll to the side in a fetal position. When you are ready to come up, take your time to bring yourself back up into a seating position. Comfortable cross-legged position, long spine, shoulders relaxed, and you can keep your eyes closed a little bit longer. Taking a moment to notice how you're feeling at the end of this class. And to give yourself thanks for practicing today. Acknowledging all your efforts and your progress. On the next inhale, raise the arms up overhead, stretch up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Bow the head towards the hands and open the eyes. Namaste. Thank you very much. Thank you for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good practice. I will see you again maybe Saturday morning in French or next week, Tuesday. There we go. Thank you very much. Namaste.